Hey everyone, this is Jasmine. I'm a Reiki and Mental Alchemy practitioner. So if you would like to find out more about what I offer, what I do, I'm going to leave my details below so you can check them out. I actually spontaneously decided to do this vlog today because my good friend Tonya, whom I have been doing the podcast with, the one that we titled The Two Alchemists, actually sent me a video about Jack Conte. I think his name is Jack Conte, that talks about social media. So he's basically the founder of Patreon, and he's kind of explaining how the rise of social media, how it helps a lot of content creators, musicians, and people who are like just marketing online, like the rise of it, how he benefits from it, and as well as like the fall of it right now, which is I do see it. So actually, I guess like all along, I'm not really much of a social media user. In the sense of like when I wasn't running my own thing, I wasn't offering my own thing. Like I'm not really, like I do scroll as a follower, like as a subscriber on YouTube, on Instagram, but I'm not really like addicted or anything. Like I'm not really very frequent, I would say, and it wasn't really an issue. But it's more so when I start to do my own offering, my own business, then it felt like a big challenge, a big hurdle to me, I would say, because like personally, I already have an issue about showing up. Like sometimes it can be, of course, like showing up on social media, just like talking to my camera and then putting my thoughts and my face out there. But actually kind of like all along, I do have an issue showing up even in like social settings, even in like person setting. Like it's actually hard for me to share my stories, share my thoughts and stuff like that. Like I would actually say because of kind of like how I experienced, how I was brought up. So basically I feel like I'm from a family, or like in like not just like family but extended family, in the sense of like I feel like everybody is kind of like wanting attention. Everybody wants to say their thoughts. They want to voice out, they want to express, and I feel like it doesn't really leave much room for me, which is kind of like how I developed is it strangely how I developed my listening skills, my attentiveness to what people are saying, because I feel like there's a lot of trauma of being unheard and stuff like that. So kind of like this skill is actually developed from trauma, I would say. But I have never really developed the skills about showing up, and in fact I have a lot of resistance, just so because like when everybody is like fighting for attention, like based on my experience for the people around me, like when I say something, they are probably not very receptive because everybody wants to be received. They don't want to like give attention, so to say. And also at the same time, I feel like I have a pretty unique or pretty like different opinion from most of the people around me. So that kind of like developed a bit of fear in me about sharing out my thoughts, sharing out about like what I feel. So that itself already I have some form of resistance to work through, which is I guess is working somehow because apparently I'm doing YouTube videos now and there are people watching, and really thank you for being so supportive and watching me if you are, and commenting and stuff like that. I'm really very grateful. But at the same time, like even though I have like worked through much of it, I feel comfortable showing up, I feel comfortable showing my face, there is still like a lot of resistance for me appearing on Instagram especially, and which is how like I have decided to kind of like move to YouTube, because I can do more of a long form kind of videos, and I feel like I can share, I can express my thoughts more thoroughly, more deeply, I would say. And but at the same time, I know that I need to maintain my Instagram because most people are there. They want to like have bite-sized bite-sized knowledge. They want to have like bite-sized feel of who I am. That's why they kind of like decide if they want to come to me for healing as a practitioner, as a facilitator. But yeah, I can actually disappear from Instagram for like weeks and weeks, and then suddenly appear and say that I'm gonna be more frequent, and then I disappear again, and I'm feeling this dread, in fact, and I feel like it is not something that I want to or I could push through just to be like through discipline. Like, even though I don't want to, I'm going against like how I'm feeling, and I feel like it's just not going to work, especially when I pride around like, you know, doing things that lead us up, doing things that make us happy, that make us like really want to rather than we have to. So that's kind of like against my value, against my principle. But at the same time, like I feel like I needed it. So funnily enough, like I feel like I couldn't put like a finger to it. Why? Like, why do I not want to show up, especially on Instagram? Like, if you have been watching my videos, you know that I've actually been pretty consistent on YouTube actually, and actually it probably require, I don't know, much more effort for me, because I actually need to think about what to say, create the content, it has to be long enough, but somehow it's stuck. It sticks actually, more so than Instagram, and I couldn't really put a finger to it. And then after watching that video, I start to understand why. I don't just have an issue as like a, you know, as like a creator, as like the person who's creating content. I actually have resistance in actually reading the posts of the people, like ingesting the content that people are putting out. And after that video, I finally understood why. So I mean, it's the things that we already know. It's about the algorithm. It's about like which posts get the most engagement, will probably have the most reach, because it's gonna like show up more on the feed if you are, you know, getting more engagement in the first place. And he went on to talk about, which is why people start to create content, not because like, you know, like they don't create the content organically based on like, I don't know, like what they are feeling, how they want to truly express themselves, and like however they want to create the art. It's not even just based on that anymore. It's based on the algorithm. It's more of like instead of asking what do I actually want to create, people start to ask like, what kind of creation will actually get me more engagement and hence more reach? And if you think about it, I mean, like, yes, I am actually putting myself out here because I needed to gain more reach, to help people, like, you know, expose myself to more people who may want to engage my services. But at the same time, I want to create, you know, from my heart, my authenticity, how I truly want to express myself. But yeah, so the creation nowadays, I feel, on Instagram is kind of like, it's based on what content will get me the most engagement. And it's just, I just don't feel it, you see. I just don't feel into the content, like, just because I feel like maybe it's not created from the heart. But also at the same time, those content that are actually created from the heart are like drown in the midst of all of this, because aside from that, right, like the algorithm also works with the frequency that you post. And the thing is, it's not when you create a content that is more heart-led, it's not, it doesn't go well with like frequency, like, oh, I need to post like 3 times a week, I need to post like once every day, daily, that kind of thing. Like, it doesn't work like that. Like, heart-led content, heart-led expression needs to come organically, and then the algorithm is working against that, which is why even as a creator myself, like people who put like things out there, it kind of like deters me, it kind of like discourages me, because I feel like I may put out something like that's heart-led, like that really says a lot of truth, but it's not going to get much exposure, much engagement anyway, because I don't post that frequently. And if I were to make it more frequently to get more reach, I would have to post a lot of like, I don't know, not heart-led, like made like poses just so that I keep showing up, even though it's not my truthful expression, it's just like a meh expression. So yeah, I actually feel a lot of stuckness in terms of creation and in terms of followers, in terms of a person who takes in content. There is also a lot of resistance because I don't know how much stuff I actually have to filter through to actually get to see something that I actually want. And like even when I follow people that I truly want to follow, it's being drowned by the amount of information. And then I start to, you know, unfollowing people who like I like don't feel like it's not like I don't want to see their content as much. But even that being so, there are so much advertisement, there's so much suggestion of other people's Instagram and stuff like that. I'm just like, I'm not seeing those posts anymore. And funnily enough, it actually reminded me so much of what I experienced as a child when, I wouldn't say as a child, but you know, in the past, like even so actually right now, it's just that I choose not to engage with most of these people now because it's kind of like, I want attention, like everything that they say is like, I want attention, I want attention, I want the attention to be on me. But are there really much substance, or are they like only they don't just speak up when they have something truthful, honest, and important to say? They speak up all of the time. And it's just so much noise, and I felt like I'm not listened to, and it's just like a vicious cycle all over again. It just feels so familiar. So yeah, I feel like there's a lot of things that he said like that really spoke to my heart, like because I'm not savvy, I'm not tech savvy, I'm not social media savvy, and it just felt not right. But I cannot put a finger to it. Like yesterday, my friend Tonya just shared with me that I can actually create like a favorite following, that I'm able to like filter out people on Instagram, like those are the people that I really want to see. They post like really hard like content, but it's been dry, but actually now I can filter them now, and I tried doing that. And when I go to that special page where I only see people that are my favorite, the energy, the vibration from that feed versus my main feed, it felt so different. And funnily enough, it was that point I realized that, like I've always said, that I'm very sensitive to energy, I'm very sensitive to vibration. And it was at that point I realized that, I can actually sense the vibration on Instagram, which is deterring me from wanting to be on there. Like I needed to be there, I needed to post stuff out there, I want to support my friends, but I just couldn't. And then it was at that moment I realized that the energy there, it felt like a highway. It felt like our expressway. There are just like cars going around, and I don't know where to focus on. And eventually I just feel like I'm mindlessly scrolling. I'm not taking in any of the content, and sometimes I do that. And yeah, then it becomes a question of like, I suffer from social media fatigue, from taking in content that are pretty useless to me. And what's the point? Eventually, what is the point? But yeah, but anyway, I feel like in the past, I also have gotten some advice from some people who kind of like are so-called creators. They are like social media creators or like social managers and stuff like that. And they're saying that the frequency matters, and you need to post at like specific timing, yada yada. And I tried that, and it's just like, no. And eventually I changed up my style a little bit, where I don't care. I just started posting only when I have something that I really want to say, and it usually arises organically, like this vlog that I'm doing right now. And yeah, even like, and I know that there is not much reach, but I'm just thinking like, you know what, I'm just gonna put it out there. No, like anyway, so I'm just putting it out there, and then telling myself that it's my feed. Somebody once told me before, when I was struggling with social media, somebody once told me this, that think about this way. Don't think about the reach anymore. Don't think about if people are watching anymore. Think about like, if only you have one audience in the world who's gonna read your feed, and you are the one, will you actually want to read your own page? Will you actually want to re-look at all of the content? And no matter what, no matter like, even if it's just like nobody actually look at your page anymore, know that you have yourself as an audience, and that's actually enough. And that was like a really, really enlightening message for me, and it kind of like sparked me to kind of just post more for myself, you know. And it really made a difference to how I'm feeling it, even though yes, I'm still struggling to be on Instagram. Then I had a client who found me, who was recommended to me by one of my previous clients. And she came to me and she said like, I have been watching your page since last year November, and I really like how authentic you are with your poses, and I like how vulnerable and raw you are, and that actually made me want to come to you. And she said like, thank you for putting out poses like that, and not content that's just meant to, you know, like to hit the amount of frequency, for engagement and stuff like that. And it was at that moment I realized that I am probably doing something right. And also feeling like, as long as I'm able to, you know, inspire or make somebody's day, even if it's just one person, I feel like that's enough. But that being said, I feel like I just couldn't ignore what the harm the algorithm is doing to all of us. Especially if you're not conscious that this is happening, it could like, you know, mislead the content creators to go the other way of like creating content just for the sake of creating, just for the sake of engagement and reach. And also for followers who kind of like always want to be on social media, I don't know, to find relief from their real life, to actually want to, and having the habit of mindlessly scrolling, and then eventually being sold products or services that, I don't know, they may or may not want, because they are not grounded, they are not conscious about it, because like there's just so much more information, and it's creating an impact on our brain and the impact of how we process stuff. I don't know if that's all I want to say. It just felt like a little bit here and there. But yeah, and there's a few people that I want to thank that who's like constantly watching and who have become friends because they found me, my YouTube channel, my videos, and has always been so supportive. And it just makes me feel like really, really touched, especially because I started this thing thinking that nobody will actually want to watch. I mean, like, I've come from an environment where nobody wants to listen to me. They all want to be listened to. And then it actually creates a narrative, an impression for me that I'm not good enough. Like, the things that I say are like not good enough. Like, why would anybody want to listen? And I have at least like a few of you who are like constantly listening, encouraging me, being so supportive, and thank me for like making this. You don't know how much gratitude and appreciation I have for you, because it totally changed my narrative, and it makes me feel like maybe I'm good enough. Maybe I do have something that I want to say that's actually good enough for people who want to watch, to want to listen to. So thank you very much. I have changed my video today to like a clip instead of like holding the mic. So I would appreciate it if you let me know that if volume wise it makes a difference, and if you want me to go back to like holding it so that it makes a difference in the volume. Yeah, thank you so much. I love you guys, and this is Jasmine. I'm a Reiki and Mental Alchemist, and if you'd like to know more about me, please find my details below. And if you like my content, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.